Hello there. Welcome to TB Anonymous, the confessions of Swogo addicts. You may not like to admit it, but we're not afraid. I'm Wombat 38.
I'm Fat Phil. What's going on, guys?
This is our first podcast, so we're gonna talk about some crap today.
We're kind of just shooting from the hip at this point. Like we'll figure it out as we go along. It'll get more structured. Maybe things will look a little bit better. But like, just give us some
Yeah,
grace while we figure this thing out.
yeah, we're both completely sober right now. Just don't worry about it.
It's gonna get worse later.
Yeah, probably. So,
Yeah, let's start.
introductions.
Yeah, let's start with an intro. So, I guess I'll start introducing. I'm Fat Phil. I create content on YouTube. I have 12 million galactic power. I'm working on Galactic Legend Ahsoka Tano. I have Balin, so like the vast majority of the holes in my roster are kind of some of those like random teams that I didn't get, whether they I was catching up at that point, like Queel and IG-11, or like a Rebel Fighter team where they were kind of meta at one point, and I was still kind of catching up. I've benefited from some of the light speed bundles. So yeah, our big plan for this year is focusing on some territory battle special missions. So what about you, Wombat? What are you working on?
So I am 11.7 million, a little bit smaller, but I'm missing a few conquest tunes, which is not fun. And my main goal for 2025 is unlocking Bane, unlocking Malakos, perfecting their teams. And the current thing I'm working on is basically because my roster has a lot of modding holes. It's a shared roster, so it's confusing. And I'm just been like finding a character and being like, their mods suck. I'm gonna go remod them. Like at 2 weeks ago, my Treya was like 250 speed, like not all health primaries, and now she's like almost 300 with all health primaries,
Yeah,
which
she's
is
coming
like
along there.
it's very
Rel-
nice.
Relic 7 too. That's no slouch there.
Yeah, well, she should have more health, but we get what we get because I have a lot of modding holes, but it's something you can work on and fix over time, thankfully.
Yes. Yeah. I would argue that mods are that thing that if there's one thing in the game that you can delay, it's modding. Like because there's that element of RNG that when you go farm a hard I like to say this a lot. Like when you go farm a hard node, if I go farm light side 1D, I know exactly what I'm going to get. I don't know the amount, but I know the rewards that I'm going to get. I know the shards if I go to a hard node that I'm going to receive. There's no like the RNG is how much of it are you going to get. It's not, hey, on this hard node you have a chance to get Kylo Ren unmasked, or you could get like Bane or Sith Trooper or something else. Where mods, you go in to farm those mod challenges or whatever, and it's like, okay, well, I can guarantee a speed set. Am I gonna get a
Mhm.
health primary or a defense primary? And then you get the primary you want, and do you get the stats that you want, and do those stats roll? There's so much randomness; it's almost better, like more beneficial to like kind of
And
wait on
then
them.
and then there's the straight up cutoff of does it have speed? Does it not have speed? Okay, half of those mods are garbage from the get-go. So you just
Yes.
wasted half your time. So
Yep.
and then the RNG, like today, I was slicing some mods and calibrating, and I have a speed on mod on my tray. It's 23 speed with four rolls, and I re-rolled it, and I got flat defense. But I already have five rolls of flat defense. So no. I have five rolls of flat defense because it's on a diamond, which is actually decent because there's actually
Yeah.
a lot of defense on there. But I rolled my flat offense and I got tenacity, which is useless. So now I have 23 speed, and now I'm down 75 attenuators, which is fun because
Oh, you just I don't know if I've done a 75 attenuator roll yet. I,
well,
I don't.
it's a 23 speed mod for four rolls. So I figured the job event was today. I might as well. And we just got TV rewards, so I'm gonna have a bunch more attenuators soon anyway. So
Yeah, see, I'm trying to think. I think I have one on my mall that is similar to that, or at least it used to be. where I had like there's a mod I have somewhere that is yeah, Bo-Katan has 23 speed on 4 rolls. I'm
Yeah,
sharing
so
that right now. So I have to. That's one, and it has. I could calibrate that. The thing is, I can calibrate that soon because it's a. I have. It's only cost 25 to do that.
oh, but it's not gonna roll though.
Oh, absolutely not. I'm gonna get.
You're not gonna get a 29 speed mod out of that.
Well, do you know what like made me like I was like I have so many of these mods where like I have 24 speed on Shin or I have like 22s and 19s like that they could help my mod score if they were like 1 speed faster. And I get that you're not like I don't care enough about mod score where it's like pisses me off, but it's more so just frustrating because like when you share your mod score, you want to be like, hey, look at how good I am, and I've got like a million of those 24 speed mods just sitting there, but they have really
Just
good
like I
secondary
swear
stats.
I'm not trash. I just have every single mod I have is 24 speed. And then they actually look it up and it's like every single speed. You don't like you're like, wow, your mods are trash.
I mean, I feel like that's part of this whole thing that I've begun to realize that a lot of players kind of fall into that trap of is they get a mod that's like decently fast and so they'll slice it because oh, all that matters is the speed number. And then they end up with these mods that just eventually sit there and do nothing because they're not really that valuable. Like,
Yeah.
there's no good secondary stats outside of the speed. And there comes a point in your account, and it happens a lot sooner now with light speed bundles and with the raid and territory battles, which we'll talk about those things. Like, it having speed isn't enough anymore because
Yeah.
if you don't have the stats to back it up, it doesn't matter how fast you are.
Like on my Ray, her diamond has 5 rolls of offense and 4 rolls of health. It has 7 speed. I don't care it has 7 speed. It has 4 rolls of health and 5 rolls of offense.
Yep.
It's perfect. She doesn't need the speed.
Yeah,
Now,
mine.
I see people with Rays at 540 speed, and I'm like, well, I wonder how much health and offense you're sacrificing for that
Yeah,
speed
my
stat.
my arrow has 12 speed. I think that's the slowest one I have on Ray is 12, but it has 7.6% offense on it, and it's a
Yeah,
health primary.
yeah.
I love that mod. I love that one.
The best part is when you're like modding and you're like, what's this 5 rolls of offense doing on freaking bays? You're like, how did he get this mod? And then you
Oh
roll
yeah,
it, and then it's like, that's a lot of offense. Okay, I'm cool with that. I can throw that on a Dark Trooper who doesn't need the speed.
I have a speed diamond on Dooku that's 9 speed, but it has 5.58% offense off of 4 rolls. And I'm just like waiting to like get more slicing materials to like slice this up to get hopefully more speed on it so I can throw it on somebody actually good.
I think you meant more flat defense, actually.
There's no flat defense. It's potency or flat offense. So we could get to flat
Oh,
offense.
the flat offense isn't bad. Yeah, I think I have one speed arrow that has like 4 rolls of percent offense and then 5 rolls of flat offense. And I'm
I
really hoping I can slice that other stat into a percent offense and just make it perfect.
I don't understand the slicing of arrows that are speed.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't I don't get it.
there is some things like when you have a speed arrow with 5 rolls of offense that has like it's like 5% offense. You're sacrificing 2 or 3%, and you can put that on an attacker who hits hard, but also could really use say 15 extra speed because you're not gonna have say a really fast mod for them on their arrow because
But
it's
like but like my Kylo has 24 speed, so I'm sacrificing 8 speed on a GL that's nothing, right? On a
oh
GL
you don't
8
have a
speed is
speed
nothing.
set you don't have a speed set on SLKR.
No, I do. I do. I have a
Okay,
speed set on him, but 8
sorry,
speed is nothing.
speed you don't have a speed arrow on them.
Yeah, it's a health arrow,
Okay,
5% offense, 24 speed. Like
what's your health stat on SLKR?
160,000.
I don't think I have that much.
Yeah.
Um,
He's Relic 8. But like that my like I've tried to get away on a bunch of my GLs. Like I think only Kenobi and Jabba have speed arrows on them. Everybody else is health or protection.
yeah, so
Cuz
like
Lord Like
Yeah.
Lord Vader and Luke are both protection, and Leia is health, and so
Mhm.
is SLKR.
So my SLKR has 136,000, but he also has 592 speed.
Yeah, mine's only like 570, 571.
Yeah, so he always goes first.
Yeah. I mean, at 571 there's not a lot that outspeeds him. But
Yeah.
my triangle is only 17 speed because it has 7.5% offense.
Yeah, so I know Calvin Mays was making a video the other day about like some modding things, and he mentioned how having a speed set on Leia doesn't really make sense anymore. Because for starters, there's New Ray, which is gonna just bitch Leia all day long. And then the whole point of a speed of a fast, well, part of the reason of a really fast Leia was to outspeed SLKR. But SLKR is always going to be faster if it's equivalent mods.
Yeah, so I mean, here's my thing with the speed sets on GLs though, is that if you take that speed set off of Leia, she's going to be a lot easier to kill for other things.
Yeah.
That I feel like that's where you get into that like specific modding where yes, she's going to get dunked on by this, but is it really worth changing your entire modding strategy for that one team, or are you just willing to like sacrifice that and recognize like I don't
Yeah,
know.
and it's like the reason for more health is like her damage, but like if Drogon isn't dealing lighter damage, you're kind of stuck. Like
Yeah.
Drogon should be destroying everyone in that team. And if Drogon's not doing that and you need Leia to deal all the damage, like in the Leia team, when you hit alt, the battle's over.
Yes.
Like you're not getting back from that. The enemy isn't getting back for that. Some teams can, like a GL maybe, but most GLs that alt goes, their allies either all die or they're stuck in fracture and ambush, and then they die in 2 seconds.
And then you bring if you do get a kill, you bring back whoever was dead. Like
Yeah, exactly.
so let me ask you this with speaking of like when we're talking about characters and stuff like that, we've got this new Bad Batch faction coming in. So I haven't really given my full official thoughts on this on my YouTube channel, but like, where do you see this team fitting in? Because they're not leading to a journey guide character,
Yeah.
and
Well,
oh, I want to finish this thought and then I'll
okay.
turn it over to you. Omega's leadership already calling out that the Omicron doesn't work against GLs. I have two thoughts about it. And one is it's because with that Omicron, like without it, she's already competing. That she's like
Hmm.
a great mother's level team where you put that Omicron where she's already competitive without the Omicron against GLs. With it, it's like ridiculousness. Or I see her like an Admiral Trench type character where she has a very specific place in the pecking order and they're making sure she doesn't go above it. What are you thinking?
Well, it's weird because they haven't done excluding GLs. Like the only GL excluding Omicrons I've done recently has been like if there's a GL on your team, this Omicron is not active. Like Luthen and QA, they both had that. Where
Yep.
if Leia is a leader, if you have JMK on the team or Cat, the Omicrons are turned off because CG in their infinite wisdom decided that that's to make the team way too broken. Which I'm not going to pretend like 30% offense on Drogon isn't broken, but there's a certain thing. It's like, is QA really going to make JMK that much better? Like, her kit isn't designed for him. So it's like,
No.
yeah, you exclude the Omnis, but you're not going to put her on her JMK team anyways. Leia, I get that because Leia just kind of takes whoever and makes them,
Yeah, that would
she
be a
makes
little
them great
bit.
again, right?
Yeah.
She's the Donald Trump of Star Wars, of Galaxy of Heroes. She has her cabinet, and then she has people that she grabs from and pulls them in.
No, that is a very good point. She's way too good.
Yeah, but it's kind of hard to see the place in the meta. I'm thinking they're going to be like Malikos level. where
Okay.
in the right comp, they're gonna dunk on things, but it's technical. It's not an easy team to use. It'll definitely feel like the original Bad Batch, where you actually gotta pay attention. You can't just be like, they deal damage, they take hits, they're tanky, I win.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta manage your stuns, manage your buffs, run a difficult Terminator train. Like, I don't know, I haven't used Bad Batch in a while because they're not useful, but I feel like Bad Batch in their prime were so good because they were so advanced. Like they don't work on
Yes.
defense because the AI is stupid.
Yep.
But if you have the right speeds, like I've seen people with like Gear 12 just beat Relic's teams because Echo has fast mods
Yep. Yeah.
and it gets a turn meter going and then you just win.
Yeah, they're one of those I like to call I can put teams into like two categories. Like you call them like automatic and manual, and it's exactly like a car. Like an automatic team, you can set that on auto and auto will play it almost perfectly.
Like Lord Vader.
Yes. Like
You throw the
that is the
taunt.
best example of a character like he can't ignore taunt. So right away you're taking out anything different that the AI would do comparative to Jabba or Jedi Master Kenobi where when they can ignore taunt, like I've watched Jabba have the pick of the litter of my Jedi Master Kenobi team and he chooses to eat Jedi Master Kenobi. Like that's a
Yeah, it's
win-win.
like, okay, thank you.
Yeah, and then, but like Lord Vader, because he can't ignore the taunts, you set him on auto and he doesn't play any. You don't really change anything about the way you play that team.
Yeah, and
And
like Maul's always gonna use Anguish when he has 5 stacks on auto.
yes, yeah, like with the Bad Batch, you manually have to play them. You have to control every single decision that they make because if you make the wrong one, you're not going to get the same benefit out of them. Like
Yeah,
they
like
don't beat Qui Gon on auto.
hmm yeah. Because you gotta manage your stuns and like you only want to use Wrecker's second special when he has uh whatever his effect is, when he has 10 stacks.
Yeah, the
Because then you
Furious.
yeah, Furious. There's so many certain little things and like, oh, do you have defense up? Okay, this character's defense up. I'm calling them to assist instead of this person who already lost it.
Yeah.
It's very technical and it makes it such a fun team.
Oh yeah, they're you know
Like,
where they're actually very good is in phase one of TB on
oh
Coruscant.
yeah,
They can
that
wreck house,
yeah,
but you're not pressing auto. You're sitting there manually playing that.
yeah,
But I think you did bring up a good point about that the new Bad Batch team that they're like you kind of envision them almost like the old Bad Batch where they're gonna be very technical. How do you see this new Bad Batch team impacting people? Obviously, like that, your end game players. That's what you're gonna build. You're gonna build that
yeah.
team because there's nothing left. Where do you see everybody else building this team? Because Capital Games has kind of said they're not going to be needed for anything. I don't buy that. I've never bought that when they say anything. Like I'm expecting this team in Conquest. I'm expecting a bonus
Oh
planet
yeah.
or a raid or economy. That something is going to happen. They're not just going to. I can't envision them doing nothing. How would you convince somebody not in the end game to build this team? Or would you just say skip, it's not going to be worth the investment?
Well, here's what I would say, because with obviously we're not a TV podcast, but we love TV. With Mandalore with Zepho, you have so much Cairo income when you're past like the certain level, when you're past let's say 500K guild or 500 million guild, you're probably getting Mandalore done. Or hopefully if you're not, maybe you want to have a talk with your TB officers, but you're probably getting Mandalore done. You're getting 280 Cairo per month by doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Besides 2 missions if you're the person who has to do it. What I would say, if you're at a certain level, farm them. Get their shards. It's a no-brainer. I'm gonna do it. Every player who's has everything done, because at this point you have everything. Like us endgame, I'm missing Ahsoka, Balin, and then like I think I still need Paz shards. Besides that, every character is 7 stars except for like legendaries. You're not farming anyone else. We're getting plenty of Kairos. So are you just gonna spend all your energy farming Kairos? Like I've seen some endgame players who aren't even refreshing regular energy anymore because they have so many Kairos. They get the income as fast as they can spend them. Because like you get two and get three. Spend those on
Yeah.
Kairos.
Well, the only thing I'll say though is that all those endgame who don't use regular energy always complain about carbonite circuit boards and bronzium wiring, and those
Yeah,
are not an issue if you're spending regular energy.
that's fair.
Because I
Yeah.
noticed that with myself, where like I haven't done any Cairo refreshes for like a month, because I still have like so many from all these other things, but my bronzium wiring is starting to, and I mean dwindle. I'm down to like 4,900 of them, but
Hmm.
I was keeping pace with my chromium transistors.
Yeah. So what characters do you not have at 7 stars yet?
Tuscan Warrior, General Syndulla, Padawan Sabine, Omega Fugitive, Hu Yang, and then Darkseid Ray, Batcher, and Ahsoka.
Okay, what about are you do you have all the ship 7 stars yet, or still waiting
Yeah,
on
yeah. Oh,
punishing one?
Punishing One, I need to finish up. I'm like,
Okay.
I need 24 more shards.
Yeah, so you're missing what? One you're missing two characters that you can shard farm, and then there's Tusken Warrior, which it's a Cantina farm. If you ever decide you need it, you can get it done. It's a 8 energy, I think, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's kind of him. At this point, I should feel embarrassed I don't have him done because it's an 8 energy node, and like I've done 16 energy nodes like multiple times in between. Then I
I
just
mean,
can't. I haven't been
well,
in a need for Tuscans.
Phil, here's my argument. How much signal data? You have an insane hoard of signal data right now, right? Like you're set
Not.
for all the rest of Ahsoka, right? Or
I
about.
would be set for Ahsoka, but I have to Relic 8 Ray, BDSM Ray. I've got to Relic 8 her. And then I'm going to Relic 7 General Syndulla. Like, I'm not going to leave her at Relic 5. So I need to build up some more signal data and have enough for Ahsoka Tano because I'm going to Relic her. Like, I'm planning to unlock her day one. Like, the minute I can start, I'm going to unlock.
Yeah. So like how many refreshes are you doing on the Ahsoka Tano's requirements then?
Right now, I do a 25. I'm
Okay.
not doing
So
50s. I'm not doing
so
50s
you're
until I know where General Syndulla is going farmable.
so you're probably assuming General Syndulla isn't a Cantina farm, which would be very nice. If you're listening, CG, make her a Cantina farm.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, so Tusken Warrior is probably a week and a half for you to farm.
yeah.
You know, it's super easy. So what's that really going to change for single data? Because you right now you almost have enough. You're gonna get enough easily. You get well, yeah. You can't buy it. You don't buy the stuff in Conquest Shop, do you?
Well, I buy all the blue signal data every conquest with my leftover currency.
Okay. But you're gonna have because you have what 2.5 months to do it, and if something
Yeah,
else drops, you're not gonna gear it. It's gonna
I
sit
mean,
at 3 stars.
the thing that I'll be able to do is get my like Saw and Luthen up to Relic 7 with Kyle, and then I can do the
Okay.
Rebel Fighter mission. Like that's
Yeah.
it's more so that I view the time I'd be spending Tuscan Warrior that I could be bettering something that's gonna immediately benefit me. Like I've survived so long without Tuscans that when I get them at this point, like I'm not gonna invest any Omicrons in them. So it's really only a 5v5 team for me, which at that point, like I'm already not using General Skywalker. Like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah, but like, what other teams have you shard farmed and never upgraded? Like, what's the
Queel,
harm?
IG-11, Rebel
Yeah.
Fighters.
Well, but they were requirements. Creel IG-11. But
Well, I mean, but not like a. I mean, I have everything. Like literally everything else is shard farmed.
yeah. So wouldn't you rather say I have everything shard farmed except for the new stuff?
Not really. It's not that big of a deal.
Doesn't really matter to you.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where I more so am wanting to keep up with new stuff than trying to like circle back to some of these older things. But
Mm.
that's also because I would argue that I probably would have Tuscan Warrior had Lightspeed bundles never come out. Not saying because I was going to buy the Tuscan one, but because I was in a position to go like start Ray to get um like the Phoenix and some of these other things done, Tuscan's kind of dropped off because my roster filled up with other things.
Yeah. And then you finally got to use that Relic 7 Ben.
Oh, dude, that was the most like annoying part of my account for like the longest time. Same thing. You know what's so funny is like Ben and Dad Bod Boba were like people will look at my account now and be like, wow, that Phil was really smart to build them. But I had the two of them when they were useless. Like when I
Yeah.
shouldn't say Boba Fett was always useless because he was good for territory war, but like I did not have a good teams for them. And then I got Ray, and now I have Balin and Boba Fett signed at Django. So good with Balin.
Yeah. He does he's not half bad with Afra either.
No, he's not. No,
And
I've
now I was
I've
using the
found.
Conquest.
I'd actually say that I want to give Capital Games some credit here. Like they deserve some flowers for some of these things that they've done a good job building out some of the newer teams to incorporate some of those characters that really just didn't have a good place in the game.
Yeah, like Kira.
Yes, or
Kira is like everyone who watched Solo like loves Kira, and yet she's useless. And they're like, and Capital Games is like, well, let's just give her synergy with Balin.
yeah. Or like I think back to the first time I really felt they did a brilliant job was the Cal requirements between Marin, Seer Cal were kind of Seer Cal are kind of outliers because they built a whole new faction, but they can also go slot in other places. But like Marin and Tarful and Saw Gerrera really fleshed out some teams that didn't exist before.
Yeah. Well, Saw was okay. I don't think he found his place as much until more recently, but
Yeah, but I think of him as a lot of players built Rebel fighters. He at least gave them a Grand Arena Omicron that Mon Mothma didn't have.
yeah, that's right. He makes the second Rebel Fighters team. And now with Luthen, they're destroying everything, feels like.
I
They're
I have a
one-shotting
very
JMKs.
I have a struggle right now of for 5v5 do I stick Drogon with like Saw and Luthen because in 3v3 GACs, oh my god. Like I think I shared this with some people like my I was going through my GG and it held against a Sith Eternal, it held against JMK, it held against multiple JMLs.
It held against the Sith Eternal?
Yeah, hold on, let me pull up the let me see
How?
if I
Wait,
um
was it just C Watt and like and like Set?
hold on. Let me go back through. I got to figure out what cuz some people didn't like I got to remember which people did and didn't attack it. Let's see. Yeah, so it was C armor and here we go. C armor and set.
That's his problem. Yeah. He needed
Yeah.
Watt. Because
Yeah,
Armor
Watt,
probably
I think
just got insta-killed at the
but
beginning.
even with Watt, the only thing I would say with Watt would be depending on like a one shot and then it held here's that JMK battle that it held against. But then like this is crazy, right? Like I'm showing this GAC history. He ends up winning with full banners with Riva and GI Kron. So like he
Against
dropped two
like
GLs for literally nothing against this team. And like
that's
if
the
he didn't do this, I think he wins Grand Arena against me.
that's the worst feeling ever.
Yeah.
Especially against a non-GL team where you're like, I'll just throw a GL at it. They got it. They're pretty
Yeah.
good, so they're gonna just destroy it, right?
They
Right?
should. Hey, I'll be you keep I want you so I know we kind of got off track here with the Bad Batch. So with the rest of the Bad Batch, here's I'm gonna hop outside to use a bathroom in my bushes. Um but we're gonna get a couple new Bad Batch characters. How do we see that in for 5v5 or for 3v3?
Well,
Because right now with the current 5 Bad Batch we have, there's only one 3v3 team. You don't really get to manipulate them for 3v3. Do you envision another lead coming? I want to hear your thoughts. And everybody thought I was kidding about saying going in the bushes.
I guess the bathroom's too far away.
Well, okay, so like since we moved from like my old house, I had a bathroom in the basement, and it was like the greatest thing ever because like I could just go down there. It wasn't a big deal. Didn't have to walk anywhere. Now I don't have a bathroom basement anymore, but I do have a walkout basement with bushes right outside that I can at least take care of one of the businesses.
Yeah. So it's tough because the way they're showing out the Bad Batch, it really feels like it's only gonna have one leader.
Yeah,
Because unless they do it like Bounty Hunters, where Hunter, Wrecker, and Crosshair have leaders because they're like mercenaries, and it's like, oh, all the mercenaries have leaders. Might as well give them a leader too.
yeah,
Because then it'd be weird because it's like, well, do they want to make it Inquisitors where it's like pre-GI or which leader do you use? They all kind of do this weird shit where it doesn't really make sense, but it might beat this one team. I think they're just gonna go with the old fuck you. Here's one leader, the other ones are completely useless in 3v3.
because that is I would say that this has been a problem that they've been experiencing with various teams where like Gungans are another one
Yeah,
where
100%.
realistically you get one team out of five characters. You know, with Bo-Katan Mandalorians, I think that argument still stands as well, but I could tell you to use Paz, IG-12 and Grogu and Bo-Katan and then go stick Beskar Mando with somebody else.
Yeah. Who do you use with Bo-Katan in 5v5?
I throw Baby Bo in there.
Okay.
I'll. The thing is, this is like, you know, I should just relic armor. I have her pulled up right now. I have her gear 8. I have like 4,000 of each Kyrotech. Like I can. There's no reason I can't take her to like gear 12 minimum, really relic levels.
You could just
But
take it
it's
to,
more
yeah,
so
get
like,
Relic 1.
yeah, I just can't stomach signal data. So I just haven't because I have to take her to relic 3 minimum to be able to fully use Datacrons with her.
Yeah. Well,
Which isn't
so
that big of a deal.
yeah, but are you short on the white and green signal data or just blue signal data?
I need to do the math for how much I have left after Ray. Because I still have to finish off Ezra and then General Syndulla, Sabine, Hu Yang, and then save enough for GL Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Because this is just thinking through like the Galactic Legend change, right? They added the tickets to like Shard Shop. I realistically can get Ahsoka day one, right? I mean day one for me. Like I can start that event and I will finish that event in a single day.
Yeah, especially with the Shark Shop changes. It's crazy.
Yeah, so there's no reason, like I shouldn't say there's no reason for somebody like myself now. I don't have those 2 weeks that I used to have to be able to accumulate any gear I spent. Now, for me,
Mhm.
that was never an issue, but I know a lot of players, and I'm sure many of you who watch this will know exactly what I'm talking about. You're going to be in this position where you could maybe speed that GL up, but it's not going to make sense because you won't have any gear left.
Yeah. Yeah, no. That's crazy with the signal data change. I saw someone the other day, they were like two relics, two character relic levels from Jabba, and like, do I unlock Jabba today? I'm like, what?
Yeah,
They're like, yeah, I can take these guys to the right relics right away and then do the Jabba event and finish it today. And I'm like, that's insane.
yeah, yeah. Like I thought I was nuts the day I got the Lightspeed bundle for Ray, and I was able to start the event and like churn through tickets and stuff because it was like double drops at that point or there was something going on, and I was able to like get a bunch of tickets. And now I'm like, I'm gonna get Ahsoka in a single day. Like I'm not gonna
Yeah.
know what to do anymore.
Yeah, you're gonna unlock Ahsoka and then you're gonna instantly be bored. You're like, well, now what do I do?
Yeah,
I guess I
I
gotta do new Bad Batch or go work on my Tuscans, maybe.
like, but I think that's kind of why I think that change is so valuable is especially like not dropping the tickets anymore. But it does I don't know. This is gonna be unpopular, but it like cheapens the brand a little bit. The like getting that ultimate ability, completing certain GL events like Rey and Kylo, that was like a badge of honor.
Yeah.
And now it's like the amount of people, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to put everybody on blast, but like the amount of people I get asking the questions like, I can't beat the Kylo event now, and I'm like, Jesus, like Christ, just like change your mods. Like you can't drop tickets anymore, so like don't ask me if I think this will work. Just go try. Like there's nothing stopping you anymore. This isn't. You're not gonna lose tickets. Just do it.
Yeah, but then there's the reverse issue where, oh, I'm gonna lose tickets. I have to remod everyone, and then
Yes.
you beat
Oh
it
well,
first
yeah.
try because you remodding. Now it's gonna be I can't beat it because I'm not remodding because why would I remod if it's not wasting tickets? Well, do you want to spend 2 hours on tier one of the SOKR event? No, I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
I
like
did that. Oh, go ahead.
yeah,
No, go.
it's like beating SOKR Ultimate Journey without a strategy. Well, did you try stunning Ray? That usually helps me a lot. Although I really want to do that event with New Ray and just destroy them.
Well, I
It's
don't
gonna
know
be
if you'll
so
be able.
satisfying.
You won't be able to though.
No, because Conquest ends. So if you take Ray to
Oh
Relics right away, you can use her. And then
shit,
the
that's
jail
right.
event is the next day.
I didn't realize that she would let the. Oh, I was thinking of like her ultimate. Even like I'm looking in like Supreme Leader Kylo Ren's journey, and you can use her in the event.
Oh no, I'm saying the Galactic Legend event.
Oh yeah, that the bonus event thing.
Yeah, the one
That
where it's a pain. It's such a pain to beat his, or at least when we were beating it at first.
yeah
Obviously, we got the
yeah.
hung of it. After people learned you can stun Ray, it game
Oh yeah,
changed.
that was like the greatest moment of my life was realizing you could stun her.
Yeah,
I did it by accident, and I'm like, wait, because I lost someone, and then I like hit her with the stun ability, and I literally backed out right away. I was like, stun.
you're just like backs out. Oh, a bug. Whoops, it goes back in. What?
Yep, 3 star baby.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I want to use New Ray just so I can blow that Ray mission out of the water because it's so annoying. Even when you stun Ray, they just deal so much damage and you can't. It's so hard to loop the stun too.
Yeah, you have to. There's a certain speed you need between like Kylo Ren unmasked, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, and then you have to like pass out the turns and almost like skip an ultimate at times to like make sure you keep stun on her for a long enough period of time.
Yeah, but now you 3 star it, you're done.
Yep.
And yeah,
But here's another thing, going back to I know like I keep wanting to go back to this Bad Batch just because like they are that kind of new thing here. Like if they did add another leader for that, the other question could be what do you do with the other Bad Batch in 3v3? Like if you added a hunter lead and like a crosshair lead, and then you could potentially use them with some of the older Bad Batch. Cuz like reading her kit, while she's designed for these new characters, it does just say Bad Batch allies,
yeah.
which I think is very. I also thought it was interesting that she doesn't have the Clone Trooper tag, the new one. That there's no Clone Trooper tag a part of the new Omega.
Yeah. I feel like part of that is so that she doesn't slot into an old Bad Batch team for now.
Yeah,
Because
or Captain Rex.
oh yeah, that could be. Yeah, I'm just seeing it. I'm visioning Omega lead with Captain Rex and someone,
Batcher, like that,
yeah,
it'd have to be Batcher or something, right?
making
Or I guess he's
making
not a.
yeah, making Omega just impossible to kill.
Yeah,
Because I've seen she has really good stats. Like she's one of the supports that actually gets a lot of health from like her R9. So people that like Arnold who did her R9, she actually is going to be pretty tanky.
yeah.
Like she gets like the same amount that I think she gets the same amount of health that like Jolie gets it as R9.
Oh God,
So
he
like
the
let me look this up actually.
I like that. That's it. The thing that like, cracks me up about like him doing those Relic Nines is just like how different his account is comparative to like mine, where people will look at me and think I'm like on Mars, and I'm like, no.
So my Jolie is Relic 9 for TV platoons.
Yep.
I don't have 6 dot mods on him because I don't use him, but he still has 130,000 health.
He has 130k.
Well, he has wait, no, 123K.
Okay.
And he doesn't have a single 6 dot mod on him.
I think my highest non-GL is General Grievous, and he's not Relic 7, and he's got 158k health.
Yeah, I think I did the math. Let me pull it up real quick. I think I can just throw on health. Bear with me. I'm just throwing on a mod set just to be silly. So right now, if I wanted to, I could give my wait, is that right? Yeah. Right now I can make my Jolie have 162,000 health.
That's insane. Now, do you have any tenacity on him?
No, it's no
Okay.
tenacity.
Yeah.
So it's like it's whatever, but it's still a lot of health.
That's so crazy.
So let me look up
The
Omega.
new some of the one thing I wish they would do with some of the relic levels is like for some of those older characters, like we were talking about this before we started, recording, that someone like Grand Admiral Thrawn, like why can't he get more help from relics to be tanky?
Yeah,
Because like it just kind of blows my mind. Like I was showing this example. I have Thrawn up here. He's got not even 130,000 combined health and protection, and I've got 2 health primaries and a protection primary on him. And then I even have a little bit of, not a lot, I've got a little bit of health on some secondaries there. Not a ton, but enough. And then I can pair that. He's a support unit. Like he's a support unit, like he should have that survivability. You go to Shin, who's the same relic level as him. She's got a crit damage, an offense, and then a protection cross, and she still is at like over 130,000 combined health and protection.
yeah. She has no
Like,
survivability. All
yeah,
offense.
like it's nuts. And I wish with some of those relics they would just like look at a character like Thrawn and say, "Hey, you get a relic 9, and we're gonna make him look like he was made in 2024 rather than like 2016."
Yeah, because they did. They did that for some characters where you give them high relics. Like, let me see how tanky is my snips? Um,
Oh, she's not. Yeah, mine's not anything crazy.
yeah, mine. Okay, yeah, she's not as tanky. Okay, I'm getting this wrong. Well, she still has 120,000 health, and she's not modded for survivability. She's modded for only offense. Like, she has 1 health primary on her.
Oh, you only. I have 98k health on mine.
Okay, she has. Let me see.
I have 4 health primaries, but I have an offense set on her. I modded her more similar to the way I modded Ray.
Yeah, mine has 77,000 health. She's just pure offense. I figured has the R9. You might as well pump as much offense out of her as possible because she's not really a high value target. So her dying isn't really gonna happen as much, to be
How
honest.
much? How much offense do you have on yours?
Um, 11,000.
You have 11,000.
Yeah,
11,000 what?
11,000 physical offense.
Yeah, like but how many? What numbers after it? Like just
Oh,
11,000 flat.
3,700.
Okay, I'm 11 20 222. That's why I asked. But I have 4 health primaries on her.
Okay. Yeah, well, I don't have that. I don't have offense. I don't have good offense secondaries.
Yeah.
That's something I'm
The,
really missing.
her cross has 5 speed and 7.6 offense
Okay,
percent.
okay. We know you have good mods, Bale.
Uh, no, some of her mods are so bad, like speed bad. Like her diamond has 5 speed and it has
Yeah,
5.8% offense on it. So I just like if there was a slow mod, it was between her and Fulcrum of just like throwing them on them and being done. She has
yeah.
I have 194 speed on her. Like that's
That's
embarrassing
crazy.
slow.
Yeah, she doesn't really have any offense on her circle, I think, which I could probably fix with a few slices, but. Oh, that's why, because she has a crit damage triangle with no offense
Oh,
secondary. That's why she's so low. Okay.
yeah.
So if I gave her like an offense primary
You'd move
on
up a
here,
couple 100 points.
yeah, like if I gave her, yeah, then yeah, it's like 700 more.
I mean, that's a lot of offense.
Yeah, she has so much offense at the
It,
Relic 9.
I actually think on a character like her, like that's one of the things with Relic 9 that I've been thinking about is Relic 9 when I really start trying to mod more people like Ray, where I almost wonder if it doesn't make sense. Like Ray and Kylo, how I kind of have them with like the health primaries and then offense secondaries. And I'm wondering as you get into the higher relics if that's the smartest thing to do. Because
Yeah,
I think about like Drogon. I don't need him. Like, what's the difference between him hitting for 130k versus say 115? Like, is that more helpful, or is him having 30% more health more of a benefit?
exactly.
Like that's kind of where my head has gone of trying to think through those things. Like, what makes more sense for people to have when they get to these relic levels?
Yeah, like he's already one shot JMK. What more do you want from him?
Yeah, yeah. That I don't know how that happened. I like the data. I think the Datacron was absolutely helping him, but
Was it a bunch of resistance penetration?
um, let's see. I have two of them for C3PO. No, it has 41% resistance pen.
Yeah, but Luthen's throwing him extra 30% offense every time he uses that one ability as well.
Yeah.
Which for Drogon, like my Drogon, I think he has my best offense set because it's fun. He
Oh yeah,
has,
mine.
he has, yeah, he has 15,323 special offense.
Oh yeah, mine only has 14.5. I have
Yeah.
like no special offense.
Yeah, so he hits incredibly, incredible. Well, mine's also relicate. He hits
Yeah,
so
mine is
hard.
two.
Okay. Oh yeah, didn't you just relicate him the other day, I
Yeah, I
think?
just took mine to relegate for after Territory Wars.
Nice. But yeah, he hits so incredibly hard, which is like you don't really need his relic 9. It's
I
nice for T I would for TB I would get it.
Yes, I think I would get his Relic 9 after R2D2. I definitely do R2 first.
Yeah. Cause like for us, we're spending 2 days on Kafrene. That's two missions I could use for Leia. Leia is doesn't do anything in phase 9 because she doesn't have R2 sorry. She doesn't have anything she doesn't do anything on the Relic 9 plans. She doesn't have a good team. She needs
Yes.
either she basically like I've done it before I drove into R8. I could beat R8 missions with just R2 and Jet and Rebels, but you
Yep.
need one or the other to actually win on Relic 9 planets. Otherwise, you just
Yeah, I
get
would I would agree. I think that is an interesting thing like, obviously we, talked about, how much we love territory battles, hence the name of the podcast. Like
yeah.
it I've found in territory battles that the extra relics they don't really like the planets in my opinion don't command extra relics. Like I don't think the like it's more of the modifiers that get more challenging. Like I don't find a lot of the characters harder on one phase versus the other.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say the missions on was it forget is it it's the is it the phase 2 or phase 3 light side? Like those missions are harder than like a lot of other ones.
Oh, Braca is the I think Braca's
Yeah.
arguably Braca and Haven are the two worst planets for combats.
Yeah, whereas like on Tatooine,
Oh,
you have one person who doesn't take damage from dots and you just hit auto and wait for them to kill themselves.
oh, I don't do that. I
Well,
use I use Darth Sidious, Darth Maul, Sith Assassin, Sith Marauder, and Wampa. and Wampa solos the entire because he gets so much offense from like he still takes damage from the dots, but he'll start hitting for like 100k on
But he
counterattacks.
can also dispel the dots too.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. You just like wait for the enemy team, like they all and eventually kill it. Like they'll die off, or like maybe you get a couple of kills. But yeah, he just like sits there and tanks the whole time. It's awesome.
Yeah, one of my favorite things now that I learned a few TBs ago was the best team to use for the Fennec mission, where you just have boss lead with some bounty hunters. It literally doesn't matter, and you just hit auto
Oh
because
really?
yeah, because they're infinitely healing because of all the dots.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I've
Because
never used. I don't.
it's the stupidest mechanic ever.
I use so when I first started there, because I've never had like a Relic 7 boss, so I don't have like anything that I
Oh,
can
okay.
use there. So I was originally using CLS, R2D2, C3PO, and like Chupio
Okay.
because on a crit, R2 could cleanse,
Yeah.
like you'd passively cleanse, and so you could keep dots off of yourself. And then once I got GL Ray, I would just throw Ray in there, and then you can press auto because like she won't die.
Yeah. But now you got to use Ray on Zepho.
No, my guild doesn't do the UFU mission.
Really?
Yeah, we do Zepho in 2 days.
Yeah, so do
We
we.
we do so the first day we open up the fleet mission and the Jedi Cal mission, and then the second day we open up fleet, Cal, and then you get to pick between CLS or UFUs.
The CLS being,
Yeah, I guess the unrestricted. I call it
yeah.
CLS because that's what I use to beat it.
I haven't I don't get CLS. I can't get CLS to beat that one.
It's not fun. It's not
Yeah.
fun.
Last time I
You
used CLS, I think I got 1 out of 2. But then last TB, I was like, I don't care enough to beat this because we're gonna 3-star it either way.
Yeah, that's like our thing is we're hoping we can get Zepho done without some of those. We just need to grow. It's like a kind of have to grow a little bit more, and at the same time, like you just don't have. We might have to start bringing more GP into the like. I only bring Plo Koon into the fleet mission with Negotiator. Like I do the Marauder, Y Wing, Anakin, and then Plo Koon. I don't bring any extra reinforcements, so I'm not deploying a lot of extra GP there.
Hmm.
Because we do get very picky about galactic power, how much we're putting into that fleet mission.
Yeah.
Because we try to monitor, like we've even like on Mandalore, we do the same thing where we close off missions. Like only a couple of us do the fleet mission on our like one of the days, our second day we have Mandalore open for Phase 5 because we can't star it yet.
Oh, you don't you have Mandalore open on phase 4?
Yeah, so we do.
Oh yeah, so do we. I think we have it blocked off phase 4. That's why it's
Yeah, so
completely blocked off.
we do phases like Phase 1 and 2. There's no preloading. Phase 3, we preload Dathomir, but
Yep,
open
same.
up, Mandalore. And then Phase 4. I think is one of our more challenging days because you'll have Zepho, Dathomir, Mandalore, Lethal, and Kessel
Yeah.
all open at the same time. But
Yeah.
that's the day I do no GLs on Dathomir to get my CMs.
Hmm. Yeah, so one thing on day 3, I'm doing what am I doing? I don't remember what I do on day 3. I know because I have full Relic 8 or Relicator plus JMK, so I can use him in Relic 8 planet. So I think I was messing around with it, but someone was saying that you can use a worse team and then just throw Cat on the UFU mission because we do the UFU mission on
Yeah.
Zepho. So we'll do UFU and then I can't get the CLS mission to work, so I probably should just skip it instead of throwing a team in there because
It You have to keep blind on the 3 droids.
yeah, I probably need to remod my CLS team or get them better mods to do it. I don't know how my mods situation is for that team right now.
Yeah. Oh,
I'd add them to my list, but they're not really useful right now in this meta.
yeah. It's kind of a sad day for CLS because he's definitely just one of those things where it's not like he. I faced one with the level 9 Ufu Kron for CLS,
Yeah,
and my Iden Versio, my Relic 5 Iden with a Relic 3 Death Trooper and Range Trooper beat it
yeah,
without a Datacron. And I just was like, oh god, like you like felt I felt like sick afterwards. But I will say they are good. I got to give them credit in especially in threes. CLS, Chupio, and C3PO are very good against Enoch.
okay,
They destroy because the Enoch is all about reducing your critical chance down, so you're not critting. But CLS is all exposed damage, so it doesn't.
yeah,
He
yeah. That I know. Last time I faced Enoch, I just used what was it, Bam, Han, and Chewie.
yeah,
I just read a TM train the entire battle. It was so funny.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah. It's a very strange meta right now, and that's kind of why I always circle back to like the newest stuff. But like that's kind of why I'm nervous for this Bad Batch team is because I can see them coming in and upsetting a lot of things, and at the same time, I've seen things come into the game that really don't impact it all that much. Without, unless they're like that Balin type team or the Great Mothers with their Datacron, they're not having the impact that I think people want out of them.
yeah. And now at this point they have to put in their kits. Oh, this cheese mechanic doesn't work. This cheese mechanic doesn't work. Like
Oh my
they're immune
god.
to insta kill. They're immune to healing immunity. They do all this and that. Like I, it's funny because Balin is immune to insta kills with his Omicron, but I still beat him with Treya. The other GAC. It didn't he didn't have the Datacron, but it's like they did all this work to insta community. Okay, they'll be fine. They won't die to Treya Nyla Savage. Well, they died to Treya Nyla Savage because they still have damage. They're not just
Yeah,
insta
like
kills. So I'm seeing like, oh, you have this crazy good Bad Batch team. Oh, they have a lot of damage. Oh, they have a lot of debuffs. Oh, you don't say. Okay. Selects Treya team.
yeah, like that. I feel like Treya is the trump card right now. Like it's almost like Grand Arena. You have to ask like, can it beat Treya?
Yeah. Because right now, Treya is still just as annoying. Like on defense,
Yes.
she's still like there's no cheese to get rid of Treya. Or
Yeah, it's
I'm
a for me that's a you're basically using a GL at that point.
yeah. And at this point, C you want use him well until we get new Ray. C is he's best again with Bane against Ahsoka.
Yep.
Because that's extremely it's like super clean and it's perfect banners.
Which is insane that we're finally getting to use Sith Eternal and Bane to like beat something. Like the only other time I was doing that was when some of the crazy Queen Amidala crons or like the Padawan Obi-Wan when they had
Hmm.
the support cron and stuff. I was doing that just so I could ignore taunt to link up Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan to nerf that.
The funniest thing was when we had Banekron and it was the best team was Bane lead with C because you need Bane lead so you can make use of the Kron.
Yep.
So C is just literally sitting there as a lifter unit for Bane,
Yes. I mean,
not him leading.
I want to be I need to be a fly on the wall for some of those conversations CG had about Bane because there's no way they wanted him to be as good as he is. But
No,
I think the problem is you can't, and this is exactly where I think this new Ray is going to be. You can no longer create characters to counter like you're gonna they're gonna get exposed by something, which is exactly why Bane is so good. Is because you made him to not get exposed by anything. And
until he can't until Zori comes into the picture.
well, I mean, still, there's he's still gonna. increase their cooldowns anyway.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not actually sorry, but
But like the whole thing with Ray and like with Bane is that if you put any kind of weakness there for a GL, some other team will find a way to exploit that. So like you want them to be good, but you also are you willing to give a 6 million account access to the new Ray?
yeah,
Cuz I look at all the guys who have a lower account who have Bane. And what I'm able to do with Bane at my level, I can only imagine what that means for somebody below that. And that's a good thing. That's a good imagine that like imagine what you can do with that. But that's where my mind immediately heads to is they probably hate the fact that it's that good at those lower points.
yeah. Because for Bane at low levels, you give him all health mods, you give him fast, you give him fast health mods, and he just wipes the board. If their GL isn't like the best modded, he'll just he just kills it.
Yes.
Like a Ray that isn't like very well modded or doesn't have good ads, he just kills it. Like at our neck, he's not being Ray. Like he might maybe if you have like I like using Malik with Bane sometimes because he's so tanky and he'll survive a whirlwind or an alt.
Yeah.
But we're not going to be beating Ray. Not with the current state of how bonkers Ray teams are.
Yeah, not with Ezra anymore.
Yeah, not well. Ezra doesn't. I feel like Ezra doesn't do too much except for like the evasion
Well,
because he.
I think the healing too. You got to think he has that offense, the irresistible offense down too.
Yeah, the offense down's really big. Yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah,
that's another thing where it's you're creating these characters that are I don't want to say breaking things, but they have to go so far outside the boundaries of a normal character to do what you need them to do. And I think so much of that comes back to I mean, I always blame him, but so much of it just comes back to Kenobi. That I feel like he was the start of a lot of the stuff that we see with GLs now because he was the first one. I mean, they had to make changes to Rey and Kylo, but he was the first one where they directly nerfed something so that he could beat it. And that was the Sith Assassin change,
oh yeah,
where initially high ground, like he couldn't dispel stealth.
yeah,
So you ran Sith Eternal, Night Sister Zombie, Night Sister Acolyte, and Sith Assassin. And the Kenobi team would just sit there and kill your zombie for 4 minutes until you deleted them.
yeah. Because it's
And
it's
that was when,
weird. They're kind of weird. They're like the only GL team without like good AoEs.
yeah, like, and even with like people would use General Skywalker or Jedi Knight Anakin, and depending on your gear levels and mods, it wasn't enough to kill those ads.
Yeah,
And even if they killed Acolyte, she's gonna come back because Night Sister Zombie gives you two chances to like come back to life. So it just was this super funny cheese team. And they nerfed that, and at the same time they also nerfed the armorer where he could ignore protection. Because armorer would load up Sith Eternal, and then you couldn't get through all of his protection because he was gonna steal it from people.
was that a nerf? I couldn't remember if that was on release or not.
No, that was not on release.
Okay.
Because I remember at that time being I was okay with them changing the Night Sister stuff because that was ridiculous. Like that was
Mhm.
it was such an exploit and just not right. It didn't feel good. But the armorer thing, the ignoring protection was a clear like middle finger. We're not going to let this happen.
Yeah, because C with armor and Watt is so tanky.
Yes, and he takes the protection from like Jedi.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
so you steal it from Kenobi, who he doesn't have that much, but like you'd also have to link up GK, and he's got a shitload of protection.
Yeah, even with all health mods, he still has a lot of protection because
Yeah,
he's a tank. And then you end up stealing all the protection from everyone else in the team, and it's like, well, now he has this massive protection pool that they can't put a dent in. Who cares they have healing immunity? He just
yeah,
uses Link and it goes away.
yeah. It doesn't. Yeah, it just. So I feel like Kenobi is kind of the reason why so many of these things exist is because they at the time wanted him to be the cream of the crop, And because of that, every GL after him has had to have something to stop it. Like I feel like Lord Vader's the only GL where, I mean, I know everybody calls him Lord Failure. He's not Lord Failure. But I feel like that's the one GL where they really haven't been able to figure out how to make him more of a threat to non GL teams.
Yeah.
Because it started with Fennec, and now you're at Bo-Katan Mandalore. And, I mean, Bo-Katan Mandalore,
They
yeah.
seem to be just fine with Bo-Katan, just handling him every single day of the week.
Even, yeah, no Omicrons required for that.
Yeah, I still think that's weird that they're perfectly fine with like okay, she's an ultimate what is she
Oh, yeah, the epic confrontation.
epic conversation. Like yeah, she's supposed to be like basically second best under a GL even though what where does that fall? Just because it's Conquest Units, epic conversations, legendaries, it's like
Yeah,
I'm not putting gas at the same level as Bo-Katan
no. I mean,
or Malik.
at the time that General Skywalker was released, he absolutely fit that criteria,
Yeah.
but because he still can kill Rey without Ben Solo there. Ben Solo kind of ruins the gas counter to Rey.
Yeah. In GSE at least. You can do some things in TW with gas.
Yeah, it still isn't as easy because you still have to kill him. Like you have to eat more sudden whirlwinds because of it,
Yeah.
but it's doable. But I feel like that this whole like even Ahsoka Tano, I'm not overly impressed by her. I don't know if you feel that way, but I'm not overly impressed.
I've already started calling her the worst GL.
I wouldn't say she's the worst because she's not Sith Eternal.
Okay, but Sith Eternal's destroying her. But
No,
like
no, Bane,
every
Bane is destroying her.
yeah.
Bane is destroying her,
Well, because
and
Sith
that
Eternal's
doesn't work outside of Grand Arena.
yeah. Oh, and Sith Eternal's ult doesn't even do anything because he can't insta kill.
Yeah,
There's just Bane going pop, 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 pop.
yeah. It it feels like she's underwhelming, and I think like, I don't want to say this because like I want to eventually hopefully get in Meathead's good graces, but like CG got what they deserved with her, where you've overextended yourself for so long, and now you're kind of paying the price for it.
Yeah. Well, they were hyping her up all year basically.
Yes.
And then every single character in her team has a major bug. Well,
Oh my god.
General
Yeah.
Syndulla, I don't think General Syndulla and Sabine do, but Huyang, Ezra, Ahsoka had a bug that was beneficial to the team, and they nerfed it. They patched that bug really fast, which makes no sense.
I mean, yeah. After what the unending loyalty that was on Anakin for how long, that Basilisk on Fallen would fear your whole team for how
Yeah,
long?
but gaining turn meter against GLs that you can't gain turn meter against, which is like okay, so that was doing a lot for the JMK counter when she wasn't already just destroying him.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that battle. It's like it's a slaughter against JMK.
Oh yeah. But with the what's funny is like with Fulcrum Kron, if you use like Fulcrum Kron with your GL Ahsoka Tano, it doesn't matter. JMK will wipe the floor with her.
But really?
Oh yeah. I'm not sharing my what I do, but there's a way that Jedi Master Kenobi just absolutely manhandles that team.
Yeah. It's funny because like Leia is really good against JMK on offense, but also JMK still beats her. Even though he can't get cooldowns, like you just target Leia the entire time and you just get through.
Well, that's the thing. I feel that a lot of people are beginning. I feel like with the higher relic levels on the JMK team now, like I think before we didn't have the Relic 9 Snips or Commander Tano to like tank against GLA's stuff.
Yeah.
Where now that you do, I think those options are opening up.
And then there's also Snips and Cat hitting hard turn one.
Yes.
Not after a few minutes of ramping. They're hitting hard right away because they have relic nines.
And the stat sharing with Kenobi is even crazier between Commander Tano, where he's gonna
Yeah.
get the um like is his leadership ability or in his unique? think it's his unique. That like so yeah, when another light side ally targets Kenobi with an ability, dispel all debuffs on him, and he gains mastery equal to 10% of their current mastery.
Yeah.
When Kenobi targets, it's 20%. So you
So
figure
that's
you target Commander Tano, you target JMK, and your mastery is just infinitely ramping.
yeah. So who are you using with JMK and fives then?
Fulcrum,
Oh, really?
uh, yeah, it's so broken. Okay, yeah, I don't care. Fuck this. It doesn't matter. I
I've
put
seen yeah.
I so you make Kenobi super fast, and you put damage immunity on GK,
Yep.
and just press auto.
Really?
Because if you move first, right? If your Jedi Master Kenobi's the fastest character, you give more buffs to your team. So your Fulcrum gets more buffs, which means you deal more damage. So in a mirror match of JMKs, the enemy JMK doesn't get a turn
Really?
because you go through their GK first. Then I will normally target Jedi Master Kenobi next. Then you target their Commander Tano. Then you target Snips, and then you go kill Fulcrum.
Yeah, because the funniest thing with the Fulcrum Cron as well as in mirrors is, that little line of text that says
Yeah,
this effect doesn't trigger the bonus turn on other characters. Well, they forgot to code that.
yeah,
It just reads that, but it's not the funny do so when you do like because I'll do this a lot. It's like Leia versus Ahsoka and Arena where we both have Fulcrum Cron. And it's just 5 minutes of Fulcrum going back and forth, passing turns to each other because she'll attack my Ben, who can survive a while because she's not critting, and then I'm stuck attacking their Ahsoka, and then it's just waiting like 5 minutes until their Fulcrum kills my Fulcrum, and then I win because I've ramped so much.
Oh, dude, no, yeah. If you use GK, if you use like Jedi Master Kenobi with Fulcrum, you give you give your General Kenobi damage immunity. They can't kill him. They deal no
Yeah,
damage. So you just save Fulcrum. You kind of do like a guided auto, but you save Fulcrum until the end, and you finish with max banners because the enemy team never takes a turn other than targeting your immune Kenobi.
yeah. Wait, so oh yeah, because your JMK goes and then their Fulcrum goes, and then it's a
Yep.
loop.
And then it just starts the infinite loop, and it's so stupid. I need them to fix it because it's so dumb.
Yeah.
And the easiest way to counter that, if like you're like, oh, they've got a faster Kenobi, just take Fulcrum out of your team. Like that's the
Yeah.
easiest way to counter that is take Fulcrum out of your team.
That's so funny.
Because like at that point, she's not completing the team like a Padme would.
Yeah. Yeah, Fulcrum, that's why she's really good with Leia because she's ignoring the taunts too.
Yes.
Like Leia with Fulcrum Crown against JMK is so fun.
Oh yeah, like you just one shot Kenobi off the bat.
You one shot GK you basically one shot everyone because she hits him like twice and then she gets your other bonus protection and then it's like 200k crits. And it's like, oh, you're dead now. Bye
Oh,
bye.
the first time I used her basic at one point and I saw like 250k, I'm like, what the hell?
I got 800k out of it once.
Oh
So you'd use Leia, you pull back her turn meter when she has 100% turn meter, and then she gets a bonus turn the next turn. And
yeah,
then she just basics and it's like, that happened.
dude,
They're
yeah.
dead
The
now.
the 200k for me is happening in like territory battles because I have a
Really?
Relic 9 Fulcrum now, so I'm using her with
Yeah.
Leia all the time. And she's better with her basic than she is the special. Like the special, it doesn't like if you don't have enough buffs, you just basic the whole time, and it's way better.
Well, yeah, and then you give her tactical, what is it? The Drogon's buff. It gives her
Yeah, I
50% offense.
so I still give that to Leia because then I get more turns with Drogon,
Yeah.
or I should say more assists.
Yeah, when I'm using Fulcrum Crown though, I prefer giving it to Fulcrum because she's just hitting that much harder.
Yeah, it definitely needs patched. It's not right.
But also, maybe don't patch it because
No,
it's really fun.
it's so stupid, right? It's the same with the Dengar Kron. Dengar Kron is dumb too. But yeah, I could rant about those aspects of Datacrons.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this. I know this was one of our topics that we had to get to here. So, you buy the episode pass, correct?
Yep. About the episode pass and then the conquest pass as well.
So, I buy the episode pass too. I don't buy the conquest one, but I buy the episode pass. So, I think this episode, like, it's arguably, I'd say it's better value than the conquest pass.
100%. Yeah.
But I'd also say that that's coming from a 12 million GP player that I think it's better value. But
Yeah.
for a mid game player, I'd argue the Conquest Pass has more value to it.
Hmm.
Because the biggest draw for like the materials, the Zetas, like there's some nice things in here. But like how many 4 million galactic power players need shards for the new Omega? How many of them need Gerda keypads in excess and need impulse detectors in excess? Because that's what you're really getting in this pass
Yeah.
is
Well, and the Kairos too, which is like you don't need those,
the
but I can use them.
yeah, like I mean the Kyrotech is very nice, but you get my like the if you really look at this pass and where the vast majority of the resources are, it's in the Relic 9 stuff and the new Omega shards.
Yeah.
And so I think they should remove the Omega shards from the pass and
Really.
instead replace it with currency. And then move the Omega shards to the store and have like Omega, maybe have some of the other newer releases or even some of the conquest units in there. Because I think your problem is players are not going to buy this seeing that, like, I'm not going to use Omega. Like, if you're not going to get Omega, what. If you're a middle of the road player where you're like, I kind of spend, I kind of don't, I feel like you'd pass on this and buy the Conquest Pass.
Yeah.
Because
So
after what 3 months, you're gonna have enough Relic Nines to last you for a while because you don't equip them.
so there's another game I play. I just started picking up back up again. It's Dragon City. It's an older game, but in it they have this thing. It's called so they have like two. They have a two pass system, similar to Galaxy of Heroes.
Uh huh.
So one of their passes, there's like a currency that you get with like the free side, and then if you get like the paid version, you get this whole different currency. That basically it just gives you like the ability to basically purchase any like tune or dragon, so the same thing. You can basically purchase anything in the game
Oh
with that
really?
currency. Like there is, it's literally everything, but there isn't like exclusive like legendaries or whatever. So like imagine a currency like that where it's like a random thing, so you can't just go say, "Oh, I want to go buy all mall shards today."
Yeah.
So it's like a little bit random, which they need back because all the shops are standard. It's kind of boring. I miss the
Yes.
days of going to the fleet store and saying, "Oh, Razor Crest shards? Nope. Okay, next one."
Yeah. Yeah.
So it could be interesting to do something like that, where it's like, "Oh, you get the episode pass, or even you get the sewer pass." Because right now, Super Pass, no value. It's worthless because you're gonna max out the pass anyways with the regular with if you get the regular pass,
Yeah. Yeah.
and there's no benefit past that. That's not really. So say it's like that, but you get this other currency that we're missing. That's like basically pay to win only currency, where you get this
Yes.
currency and now you can get shards for any character in the game. It's basically extra crystals. So you could say, "Oh, I'm 4 million GP. I'm gonna instead of buying three more Lightspeed bundles, why don't I go get this pass that gives me 1,000 currency? Let's say every 10 currency you can get a shard of a conquest unit. You want to get Bane? Okay, I got all this currency. Let me go get Bane after 2 or 3 months. Instead of buying all these crystals, doing all this crap, trying to beat the PG, I can rush it, which yeah, it's gonna have issues with the balancing, but they don't have any they don't really care about if you're paying if you're for a pay to win thing, they should have it where it's more exclusive.
Yeah. I
Because the episode pass, it's good, extra value, but it's not giving anything exclusive.
yes, and I think the side of me that I have issue with the episode pass is that like they're giving the like relic materials, but there's no signal data. So
Exactly.
for like, cause it's like that classic, I always, whenever I'm talking to like, people and they're asking me what to spend their currencies on, and it's like, you could buy all the Relic 8 stuff, all the Relic 9 stuff that you want. That could be your smartest decision. If you don't have the means to equip it, it doesn't matter. Like
Mhm.
having 20 Gerda keypads or you having 1,000, if you have zero signal data, they do you no good either way. And I
Yeah.
think that's where this episode pass needs to evolve to, is finding a way to, you've got to be able to sell it to people who don't need the stuff that you're trying to sell inside of it.
Yeah. Like that, like Yakuza Corner said that could be like everyone would start buying that. Like
Oh,
players like me who are missing four conquest units, I'd buy that. I could go finish them all off, which is like, okay, one thing, yes, that's cool, but also there's a reason I haven't started buying their shards in PG because I don't have the Amis, I don't have the Zetas, I don't have the gear for them. I'd rather unlock them slowly and then build their Amis in the meantime. Because right
because
now
that would
I
be
have
it.
six,
Oh,
yeah,
go ahead.
right now I have 60 Amis, so they're all going to go to Dark Array because I feel like it. But also, I'm looking at my roster. I'm missing Drogonami, I'm missing Chrysanthemami. I'm really hoping the next Conquest unit isn't a GAC character because I need to fill out some Amis badly. And then
Oh,
there's the new Conquest units that I'm gonna unlock in a few months where it's just like, well, I need Bane's Amis. I probably want Luthen Amis, DTM, well, probably not DTMG Amis.
Luthen, I only have one. I only have one for
Yeah.
Luthen.
Yeah, you don't need his as much, I think. Forget
But
whatever. Yeah, Malicos Amis, you need all of his basically.
yes. But that's kind of like another thing here. Like you brought up the Zetas, which is a good point. They give you Zetas in the past, but they're not in the store, right? Like in the episode store itself, they're not there. And I feel
Yeah.
like that was another missed opportunity where you could get more stuff here. And I think that like begs a question too. It's on a weekly timer. Would it not make more sense to allow refreshes here, even if it was for crystals?
Hmm.
Because I'm looking at it and saying, like, I probably wouldn't do that, but I'm sure there are people who would do that for the Omicrons or people who would do that for Zetas or other things to
Yeah.
spend their currency on what they need. Because I think that's an area, again, where I think they need to capitalize on is you've got to start getting the people who are, I don't want to put you in that category, but like the players who have needs like you
Yeah.
and are willing
Very
to spend on them if there's a way to do it.
exactly.
Like, are you gonna buy the Zeta packs for like $40 to get like 10 Zetas?
No.
Would you buy a $40 pass that gave you access to purchase more Zetas?
Who knows? Maybe.
Yeah.
Like my best scenario for the episode pass, because right now my issue with it, with the store is I have all this currency. I can only buy so many mod materials. It feels
Yeah.
like I'm
Oh.
barely getting anything. Like I'm pretty sure you're making less if you're not like if you don't have the pass. I'm pretty sure you're getting less mod materials, which or maybe the same, but I feel like I should be getting more because I'm getting the pass. I should be getting way more mod materials. So I feel like they should change it. They put the Amis in the daily store because in the weekly store because that could be an issue. I feel like they might want to watch their pockets on that when people are getting way too many Amis way too fast because you can refresh the store and buy more. Take the Amis out, put them in the weekly store, and then everything else, it's not game breaking if people can refresh that store. So I'd rather do that and say only buy the one chart mod material I want the entire month,
Yeah.
except for the Amis every week. I would much prefer that because like I'm buying everything else in there because I have all the currency. But if I only had like if I didn't have the pass, I'd just be buying the Amis basically because that's all you can barely afford.
But
Which is
that's
like
a
fine for people that don't pay. But if you want to pay, I should be able to have the luxury of getting what I want, not
well,
just I'm buying this because I might as well. Otherwise, I'm wasting currency.
so here's another thing though, right? Like with the Omicrons that they're selling in there. If you gave out more, you gave us the ability to refresh. Like I'd argue for my account, I would spend everything in Omicrons if I could.
Exactly. I do the same.
Because I could start doing territory war and territory battle ones then.
Yeah.
And I don't think they want that, especially I think because of the game has shifted. I'd say Omicrons especially have really shifted that a lot of the lower level players are much more heavily reliant on Omicrons to progress than what I was when I was their GP. And I'm sure you probably feel the same way. Like, how long did you make it through the game without a single Omicron? And
Yeah.
now people are completely reliant on an Omicron to get them something.
Yeah.
Like the amount of questions I've gotten about, hey, should I build Merrick for my Inquisitors because his Omicron is really good and I want to scream?
Yeah, well, here's the other thing though, is like I'm seeing a lot of players that are like smaller and like they have a lot of Omicrons. Like I would kill to have how many Omicrons these players have. Like one of my friends in Egnard server, like he has like 120 Omicrons right now. And he has a place allocated for all of them, but he's a lot smaller. So it's
Yeah.
like he's missing a lot of good Amis. So it balances. Like I know when you're much smaller, you're gonna get a lot more Amis because, well, you were before. I don't know how much you're getting now with the new changes, depending on how things have shifted around. But you get all these Amis you get like four a week, and then all of a sudden you have all these Amis, and you run out of characters to put them on because there's only so many good Amis, and you got to build the teams to use their Amis.
Yeah.
So you're sitting on these Amis, and then you're doing luxury armies because you might as well. Like I did on my alt account, I did the what's her face? Like the talent army. It's good, it's fun, but it's not necessary. But
Yeah, I don't have that.
I had so many extra armies I could. Like I did all of Ben's armies, all of SK's armies. If I was unlocking Ben today, I'd have to be like, do I need these armies? Am I getting them? I got to think about this. Whereas,
I I just equipped his last one to ignore protection.
okay, yeah, like nowadays, yeah, you want them. They're really good.
Yeah. I think there's been a shift too that it does seem like some of the Omicrons are getting significantly better and some of the older ones aren't keeping pace anymore with that.
Yeah,
And that doesn't always make me like I think Qui-Gon Jinn for me is just a full skip at this point.
yeah, 100%. Like I'm at the point telling people to skip Padme as well.
Yeah.
Like in like tunes that like you wouldn't think twice about gearing. Like you just like do the gas vet. Yeah, Relic Padme. She's a great team. With a now in early game, if you're not skipping the Qui-Gon Omi, because like I would still recommend it because it's a defense team, sure, but it's beating most non-GLs on offense still. If Cam's a tall task, but if you have like half decent Jedi, it's still pretty good. But the issue is there's no point in building Padme at that point if you're
Yeah.
gonna get that because she's take if you're using a good Qui-Gon team, he's taking your whole team.
Well, hey. Oh, sorry, I keep yawning. But that's kind of like the other thing here. Like you mentioned, like Qui-Gon really good on offense. Defensively, they can be. I'd say annoying is the best way to phrase them. It's just like an
Yeah,
annoying team you have to deal with. But that's kind of another thing that I think they, going back to I think earlier when I said, what are they, kind of messing up some of the stuff where like it's a good team in 5v5, nobody for 3v3. I also feel like they went through a phase where they were just kind of stealing characters away from other teams. Like Jedi
yeah.
Knight Anakin does not belong to Padme anymore.
No, Padme's team doesn't exist. She is Gidme or she is benched
Yeah,
or
yeah,
sometimes with JNK, I guess. But
yeah. But she's not a character you're relying on like you were at one point.
yeah, and we all have a Relegate, or a lot of us do, and it's like, oh, I should use this Relegate character, but I don't really need her.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. So let me ask you this: if you could do one thing to the episode pass, what would it be? Of all the things that we had said or you have, what would you do?
Um, hmm. Maybe it would be that currency, but that wouldn't age well because um, then the whales would be less would be less likely to buy it then because it's like, oh, this value is in this currency that's useless to me.
Yeah.
But I definitely would say the biggest change I would make would be move the Omicrons to the weekly store and then make it so you can refresh the store. Make it once a day. It refreshes once a day. You can spend 200 crystals to refresh it manually. That's probably not too unbalanced in CG's mind. And that gives us way more. Say we only want one mod material, because I have plenty of the higher levels. I just need the first two. That's all I
Yep.
need. I'll buy all those every single day, and then keep the Amis balanced, put them in the weekly store or whatever. That change would be massive. It would make the episode bat. It'd make the tier two, the more expensive one, way better, because you're getting way more currency in the second one. Or
Yes.
additionally, make the second one actually valuable, besides just a head start, because it's it's kind of whatever.
Yeah.
Because
I Go ahead.
they did a really good job with Conquest Pass Plus, making it really valuable for all players of the game. Because whales and high players, it's just a quality of life update. It just makes Conquest that much easier. And for lower level players, you get double the amount of shards from PG, which is huge.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
with there's so many characters in there. They're only getting more in there, so it's only getting more value every single conquest.
I actually really think that was one of the best changes that they ever did, was ensuring that that helped players from every walk of the game,
Yeah,
because it wasn't like you think, especially to you think if you're a lower level account, it's not only you get 2 days of proving grounds, but think of how many accounts only have like one or two really good teams, and now their
exactly.
stamina's going faster, that they can push through more.
And then they can put discs on like Deadly Catalyst that is just gonna let them like they throw basically through Ruthless Swiftness and Deadly Catalyst, and you just beat everything.
Yeah. Yep. See, if
Like I,
I was thinking through if I could make a change to the episode pass. I think I think I would do the remove the Omega shards and make them an optional purchase. Same thing with Batcher. All of that becomes currency, and you can either buy those shards or buy some of the more recent things. I think the only gray area that I would say would be challenging is that, let's say I wanted to buy Omega shards. How do you make sure I don't get them more than one time? Because you could say, oh, she's just in that first iteration of the store, but someone's going to forget and freak out. So, like, I think implementing that could be a little bit more challenging for them, but I feel like it would make a lot more sense if we moved the shards for those premier characters to the store and allowed people who actually need that currency for other things the opportunity to buy that.
so I still don't have an issue with Omega shards though, because those 20 shards is turning it from Omega is at what, 15 out of 30? Instead, she's 40 out of 65 because of those 20 shards. That's
But how many
that's
of those
very
players
helpful.
are going to be able to use her?
Yeah, it doesn't work for a lot of players, but for me, it's helpful because I'm gonna have to farm her anyways. That's saving me what, a few weeks of farming
But
for 20
you'd be
shards
able to
that are gonna
buy
be
them with that currency. It's more so to
yeah,
say, like, if you're a 5 million GP player, you buy this pass, you get the 20 Omega shards. Those are pointless to you. That's literally probably useless.
yeah, I guess.
Me, that's one of the reasons I buy the pass, is because they're going to give me 20 shards of Omega.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and then they're giving Bachelor later in one of the feats as well.
Yes, like you're getting, you know, a crazy amount of resources from them. So that's kind of where I struggle with that a little bit.
Yeah,
But do you have any last thoughts on that?
I don't know. I really like the episode pass.
I do too.
The one of the most handy things is how much currency you get, where you feel like you can go into that store and be like, okay, I get all my Amis, I get all the mod mats. What else do I want to buy?
Calibrations.
Yeah, is there a good mod there every few weeks? Who knows? Sometimes there is, or just
Yeah, I would.
yeah,
Yeah, I would think. I think the episode pass is one of the better decisions they've made.
yeah,
I think they just need to tweak it a little bit to convince more players to buy it. But I think overall, it's probably one of their better packs they've ever released.
yeah, and keep making it buggy because I like getting free currency.
Oh, big time! That's the best.
Like I know it's not making a difference, but it still feels really nice.
Yeah.
logging the game and saying, "Oh, 10K free currency. That means I can get these. I can get my currency today. I don't have to
Yep.
wait till 2 or 3 days from now till I get all the feats enough to unlock the next tier of currencies. I just get it today. Thank you."
But all right. Well, I am. I'm gonna have to hit the hay here, man. Do you want to leave us with any closing remarks?
Hmm, hmm. We got the age-old question. If you could remove an Omicron, wait, no, if you could remove, let me think about this actually. Yeah, if you could take Omicron off one character and put it on someone else, what would you do?
I'd take mine off of Admiral Akbar, and I would move it to. It's definitely coming off of Akbar. I I'm probably gonna throw it on like Night Trooper. Like I don't have a great home, but I feel like Night Trooper's that answer right now.
Honestly, I don't know if you've heard this, have heard anything about this, but I'm taking it off Boss Nass.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, obviously, I'm gonna put it on Drogon because he should have his Ami, but Boss Nass's Ami. So what it does at the beginning of Gungan turns, they dispel all debuffs on themselves. So in actuality, the Gungan team is weaker in TW because you're not getting any blind on Jar Jar because he
Oh,
dispels it.
yeah.
So no mass assists, which means way less damage. So basically, they're worse in TW because of the Ami rather than just having not having the Ami.
See, I don't have the territory war Omicron to know that.
Yeah, I have. Have you seen my Gungans on this account?
I don't think so. Let me pull them up.
Are you doing it on the stream or?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oops. I don't know that I can share my screen to Zoom, but I have it up on my thinger over here.
okay. Yeah, I know what they look like. So it's
All Relic 5s with every single Omicron. Good God. None on Jar Jar. What the hell?
you don't need Jar Jar's Amis. He's good without them.
You don't need Boomadiers Omicron. Or
Boomadeer,
Phalanx.
Boomadeer's handy because this account didn't have Jar Jar until like the last
You didn't
iteration.
need it for the raid.
But
I
like, I
maxed it
don't.
without anything. I maxed it without Jar Jar or the Omicron.
Okay, but I don't want to do it the right manually.
And then Phalanx Omicron. I mean, don't get me started on
It's a really good Omicron. What are you talking about? It's so strong. It's just not in a good game mode, so it's useless.
how many times have you used it?
I haven't used it. I didn't put it on in my defense, but I wouldn't take that off because it's a meme.
Egnard's like messes himself over these things, and he still doesn't have that Omicron.
Yeah, I know. I was surprised that he R9'd everyone and didn't put the Omicron on there.
I respect it. That's dedication to the craft.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the funniest thing ever because I'm not going to charge Zombies anytime soon. He's not at a point where I need his Omnis to make them work.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
I'm not even using him in 3v3. I'm using Boomadeer and Tarpals to beat like Riva.
Okay.
So Jar Jar, his Omnis do nothing in 3v3. Yeah, they're good in 5v5, but I'm not really using them to their fullest capacity in 5v5. Like, if anything, they're a Java counter, which they do just fine without the Omnis.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's forever going to be a meme until end up doing his Omnis.
Yeah, yeah. So you guys heard it here. This is the first episode of the TB Anonymous podcast. So stay tuned for more episodes like this. Hopefully we, continue to get better. We'll continue to strive for more. Um,
So, if we decide to invite guests on, can we only invite guests that are addicted to TV?
ooh, that's a good question. I feel like we should try to get more. Like we'll have to get like TB. Like we'll have to like do this when territory battles is actually going on, so we can like play
Yeah,
territory battles in the middle of it.
or we can like have something going on auto, and it's like, how did they kill Ray?
Yeah.
Like Ben's still alive.
Yeah, Dathomir missions. I
Yeah.
guess I guess you can't use them on Dathomir because it's
Dathomir
dark side.
missions are, at this point, Dathomir missions are easy.
Well, it
SOKR
depends on.
missions are just, yeah, it's like SOKR, it's just fun. Like for C, I'm using what? Darth Revan, Malgus, Malik, Watt, and C, and it's like four R9s on that team. It's very easy.
I use Bane on that team.
Yeah, I don't have Bane. I wish I did. But like that team, full auto. SOKR. It's not full auto, but it's fun.
Yeah, I
And
don't.
then
I stopped using him. He's not consistent enough for me on Dathomir.
yeah, I feel like he's pretty consistent for me. You have what? I think I do. Oh yeah, because I have Phasma R7, so I use her. It's SOKR with Crew, Sith Trooper, Phasma, and then OG Kylo. So I just ban the AoEs. I gain turn meter. I don't care because once he gets into perma alt, then you're just golden. But I swear, every single time they kill everyone but Sith Trooper, and so he just gets every single bonus turn that he can possibly get.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the funniest thing ever. Like he's killing people before SOKR is because he's just dealing so many AoEs back to back.
See, I platoon my Kylo as often
Oh,
as I can for that.
that makes sense then. Yeah, and then there's Lord Vader mission, which is Lord Vader's. It's TB. What do you expect?
I use
And then
phase 4. I use Inquisitors there.
yeah, same. I think I threw a Lord Vader on the R8 planet and mixed for phase
Yeah,
4 because Inquisitors are obviously do the same, and it's because you guys obviously do the Reaver mission, right?
yep,
It's for the charge up currency.
yep. Yeah, so phase 3 I use Lord Vader. Phase 4 I use Inquisitors.
Do any of you guys remod for the Reaver mission, or do you just go with your current mods and
I go with my
play?
current mods. I can't tell you the last time I remodded for it. Same thing with Bo-Katan. I've never remodded for Bo-Katan.
Yeah, well, Volcan mission's pretty easy, I think. I've
Yeah,
heard
I
it's pretty
remod for
easy.
Cal. I remod for the
Yeah,
Cal mission.
I'm trying to get I want to get my mods to a point because like I don't have Malakos right now, so I can just mod Seer like the mission. But I want
Yeah,
it because Cal should be modded like he should be the mission, honestly. He should have a lot of speed, a lot of health. Offense isn't too important.
yeah. I want to remod my Cal. I just don't have the balls to do it right now.
How's your modded? Yours modded?
Offense.
Yes, that mine's the same.
Yeah. I need to. I'd like to switch it up, but like he doesn't really need a speed set. But at the same time, like I could do it anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and it's not bad on him. Like,
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I feel like he doesn't have a great mod set yet. Like there's not like a. I feel like you could mod him kind of anyway, and he's good.
mhm.
But all right, folks. Well, I'm ready to call it here because I'm about to fall asleep sitting in my chair. Wombat knows I'm old, so that's what happens. So
You're
yeah,
not
stay
that.
tuned. We'll try to do this every week. Maybe bring on some guests, except Egnards. Kind of figure out,
Why would we invite Egnards on the podcast?
I mean, Egnards is like my not
He
so
doesn't
much
even
friend.
he doesn't even like TV. Like he just autos everything. He doesn't even want
He,
to play it.
yeah, but he enjoys territory battles more than he enjoys GAC.
Yeah, I know. I still think that's funny that he likes territory battles. He's a territory battle officer and he just autos every single mission.
I know, but he at least he gets a lot of waves done, so it's fine.
I know, it's stupid. He
Got to
just
figure
builds
out.
his teams, gets TB armies, and it just autos everything.
It's so funny.
The other day in our guild chat, he said he listed them off. There's like six missions he doesn't auto in the entire TB.
Good God. There's like 6 missions I can auto, and all of them are with Lord Vader.
Yeah, literally.
But all right, folks. Wombat, you want to close this out? You open this up. You want to close it out?
But you opened us up. Oh no, I did. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see you next time on TB Anonymous. Goodbye.